Well, most of us are trying to live more sustainably. But even so, at the moment, £140 million worth of used clothing, that's 350,000 tonnes, goes to landfill in the UK every year.
Yeah. Now, I'll be honest, when I woke up this morning, I didn't expect to hear the Prince of Wales who'd gone all Giorgio Armani on us, but it's true. Today's the day the heir to the throne launches a brand new fashion collection, all designed with Mother Nature in mind.
So, what are your thoughts on the final collection?
Well, as I say, having been part of, having seen the development of this project, and then to have talked to them about the plans and looking at the designs and how it was linked to Leonardo da Vinci and his designs and thoughts all those years ago, it's been fascinating to see the end result. So, personally, I'm enormously impressed. The development of throwaway fashion, along with a lot of other throwaway things, whether it's throwaway barbecues or whatever else. It seems utter madness to have this approach which takes, makes and throws away. So we're reaching a critical point we have already where we've made too much of an impact on natural resources generally, overexploitation, but also developed the kind of synthetic materials which aren't very good for the environment either, or in their manufacture. So the key, it seems to me, is to rediscover the importance that nature plays in all this and where the natural materials come from. I mean, just looking at wool, for instance, how vital that is and what you can do with wool now, where they've been able to create thinner and thinner and lighter materials that you would never believe was wool originally. It's quite fun, I think, to look again at this, but also how you recycle, how you reuse in an imaginative and innovative way.
And join us now to tell us how we can all look as smart as the Prince. It's the great British sewing bee's Patrick Grant. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, Gethin. Good morning, Kim. How are you?
Very well, thanks. I thought you'd be in a nice suit.
Well, I'm wearing a community clothing sustainably made sweatshirt made here in Lancashire, from Jersey made down in Leicestershire, all very local and all supporting fantastic jobs in this country. Well,
that's the thing. I know that's something you're very passionate about, as is Prince Charles. Why is sustainable fashion so important to the industry and to the environment as well?
Well, you've hit upon exactly the two things. It's the jobs that local textile industry creates are incredibly important to towns, particularly in places like Lancashire, Leicestershire, Yorkshire. We've lost a huge number of jobs, and we need to keep those that we've got, and we need to rebuild. But of course, the really big issue is the environment. Fashion is the most polluting industry, or one of the most polluting industries on the planet. Most of the clothes we wear are made from plastic. And, His Royal Highness has been on this case for a much longer time than most people realise. Almost 40 years ago, he stood up in the House of Lords and warned against the dangers of plastic for the environment. And it's been a passion of his, and he's incredibly knowledgeable. And for us, for me, it's an honour to work with somebody that really has been at the forefront of this for a long time.
Well, it has to be said, it is really hard, isn't it, when you're living on a low budget?
It is difficult, but it's getting easier. Again, one of the things we do with community clothing is to try and make ethical and sustainable fashion affordable. But, there are simple choices we can all make. The simplest thing we can do, and the most sustainable clothes we have, are the clothes we already, have in our wardrobes. Making our clothes last longer is something that costs nothing, but something that has an incredibly powerful impact on the environment. Learning how to repair, learning how to mend and darn, those are simple things that everybody can do. And simply just feeling happier with the clothes that we've got,
But hang on,
we
you
don't
say
need
that.
new clothes all the time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's not none of this sort of fast fashion stuff. But you mentioned about darning there. I know you're obsessed with that. I love it. And I've actually tried to use the orange peel thing. It didn't go very well. Kim, she doesn't do it either. Who does your sewing?
My boyfriend Scott does my sewing. He's brilliant. It has to be said, he is in the army, so they have to, that's something that they
mend their kit.
Yeah, exactly. So I always pass everything over to him.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, it was one of those things that the Environmental Audit Committee came up with. They said, everybody in this country at school should be taught how to sew. And if we learn to sew, we learn about materials, we learn about where they come from. It's just like with our food. If we understand what goes into our clothes, what these things are made from, we can make better choices. And we all do need to make better choices.
It's something you talk about a lot as well on the Great British Sewing Bee. It's going from strength to strength, isn't it? What can you tell us about the new series? I think you've just finished it, haven't you? Just finished filming it.
Oh, there we are. Look, we have. We finished.
You're in a suit.
I had a moustache then. We have finished. The next series has been recorded. It's being edited now. It was fantastic. It was a different feel because actually many of the contestants we had this year started sewing during lockdown. Many of them really, did more sewing during lockdown than they ever had before. And that was something that was really visible throughout the country. Thousands, in fact, hundreds of thousands of people were sewing for the NHS. They were sewing for neighbours. They were making scrubs and reusable face masks. Sewing really, really took off. Sewing machines sold out throughout the country.
Yeah.
And, it's something that we can all do that's simple. It's actually really very mindful. But, darning, it puts you into a headspace that's very meditative. It's very relaxing. It does a lot of people a lot of good.
You do a celebrity version of Sewing Bee, don't you? Do you think the Prince would be interested in making an appearance?
You know what? I'm not sure what I should say, but, he is interested, and we have talked about it. And, I think the great thing what is great about the project that His Royal Highness is launching today is it encapsulates all of the things that I think are important. It's about skills. It's about local communities being rebuilt. It's about sustainability and the opportunity for the trainees on this program to work with the guys from Yoox-Net-A-Porter to create this collection, to see the whole thing. What His Royal Highness has done with the Prince's Foundation and Future Textiles in Ayrshire has created huge numbers of jobs. It's created a sense of a better future for people in a very, very deprived area of Scotland. And I think this is the thing with sustainable practice is more than just about helping the environment. It's about helping rebuild communities, about giving people growing up in areas that used to be thriving industrial areas a hope for a better future.
Yeah. The fashion range is obviously all about sustainability. It's a really positive message. But we should say, actually, I think the cheapest item is almost £400. But it's focusing on the sustainability. Do you think there could be like a high street version of the chain maybe in the future?
Well, I think, we hope this goes very well. I mean, Yoox-Net-A-Porter really is a luxury platform, but the collection is full of very classic, very elegant pieces that we hope people will keep in their wardrobes for a long, long time. Yeah. But, again, it is about education. It's about changing the way people view the clothes that they have. And what was great about this program was it brought together the kind of digital, very smart technology at one end and the artisan craftsmanship at the other. And I think for those young people that have been involved in this program, it is a life-changing opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, again, that is what the Prince's Foundation is all about. It's about changing lives and rebuilding communities.
Patrick, good luck with it. It's a superb idea. Thank you for joining us this morning. And I know also you and your company have been doing loads of PPE recently. Keep up the good work and thank you for joining us. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Now, here's a stat.